Yes, he's like, come on, lady.
He's like, come on, Mom, like not on camera. Supposed to be like handsome here.
Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome in. We are doing a live energy upgrade today with you. You're so lucky if you're catching us. Say hello. Hashtag live if you see me. Hashtag replay if you're watching this on the replay. I'm Lisa Albin. I am a Feng Shui master and quantum energy alignment practitioner. And joining me today is Nicole Simpson, one of my friends here locally in the St. Petersburg area.
Yeah, and I'm a spiritual life coach, and I specialize in human design. So I use human design to help my clients with relationships, life purpose, finding their true selves. And so it's best.
Well, it's good to have you here. Nicole and I are partnering on a project together that we'll tell you a little bit about throughout the course of this. But we want to focus today on some wonky relationship energy. Who's experiencing haywire relationships? Now, remember, relationship doesn't just mean romantic, right?
Exactly. It could be partnerships within your business. It could be friends, like Lisa and I, we're going haywire with each other. No, I'm just, romantic relationships. So anybody that you come into contact with has some type of relationship with you.
Yes. So. And we're assuming because of this Mercury in retrograde during, and I know it's coming to the end here, because it is during this Virgo transitioning into Libra time, there's a heavy harmonization energy. There's a lot of justice taking place right now. There's a lot of judging. So this is just what I gather from my friends. Thank you, friends out there who are astrologists. I listen to you every day and just to learn a little bit more about what I'm going to be experiencing. But so like the balancing of the scales, the tipping of the scales.
Yeah, it's the Libra.
The Libras coming in and the judgment. I think, the perfectionism, the judgment, the projection of self type of energy is happening right now. So let us know in the comments if you're experiencing any wonky relationship energy, and if that's in your personal relationships, if that's in work relationships. Quinn says hello. She can't stay for the whole time, but she just wanted to say hi, Quinn. Yay.
Hi, Quinn. Thanks for joining us.
Quinn says she is experiencing some energy right now. That's pretty wild.
To know we're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone, Quinn. It's happening to everybody. So we wanted to be here today. We're going to start off today. And Quinn's is more related to friends. So yes, it doesn't have to be a relationship. In terms of romantic relationship, it can be with friends, coworkers, partners, any of the sort. Yeah.
And it's good to take notice of that. And, so good thing you're paying attention, take notice of what areas and what relationships you're having these, troubles in. So you can kind of learn from them and then use that the next time this comes around to learn and, communicate better.
I love that. Yeah, nothing lasts forever. It's always changing. That's the only constant.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. No one's
only constant.
The only constant is change, as much as we want to keep things the same. Well, the energy is really active right now. I can see a few more people who are hopping in to join us. Hashtag live. Let us know you're here. If you have any specific questions or challenges that you're facing, what I'm going to ask for you right now to do, if you're going to participate in this energy upgrade, it's okay if you have to step away. You can rewatch the replay and do this a little bit later. But I'm going to ask that you write down on your piece of paper what is your goal as it pertains to relationships, and focus on one thing. And what I'm going to say here is I'm going to ask of the ancient I Ching, using cards today instead of coins just for efficiency purpose. What does the collective need to know right now about the situation at hand pertaining to them, so that they can move forward and make the best decisions or actions, so that they can move forward and have a greater clarity in how to proceed forward and achieve their goals. So with whatever you have in mind right now, hold that in your intention. visualize it if you can, deeply, while I'm tapping into this energy. Please tell me, what is the energy surrounding the collective and how they can move forward? Woo. More clarity and ease towards their goals, no matter what the obstacles are. Please be fully hydrated too. I know I already asked Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got hexagram 63. If you want to write that number down and play along, do some more Googling after this to look into the energy. Hexagram 63 tells us about the energy of after completion. Oh, my ear's ringing. So that's different. Something.
Yeah.
we're hitting right on the topic here. After completion.
Love it.
Hexagram 63, water above, fire below. Really beautiful energy. I love it. Lots of blues. There's the coals of the fire underneath.
Pretty card.
Yeah, water above, fire below, which, you know, is that volcanic activity below, like a lake or maybe even an ocean. And then it's changing into hexagram 49, which is revolution, lake above and fire below. Interesting, because they're like the same type of energy, but on different scales. So lake above, fire below is the future energy. Water above and fire below is the current energy.
I love that, because actually gate 49 in human design is my right angle cross. So that's interesting. That 49 came out the revolution card. Yeah.
Well, tell me what that means, because I don't know. I know there's a few people in here that understand human design on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have different crosses. It could be the left angle cross, right angle cross. Depends on your body graph and human design. And it kind of gives us direction to our life purpose and what we're here to bring to the world. So a certain gate can be in a certain planetary position, and that makes your individual cross. And so mine happens to be within gate 49, which talks about revolution and principles and how we deal with, you know, relationships. For example, it could be marriage and divorce and how we kind of decide those principles in our life. And so it's kind of interesting. It's so different for every single person, but we all have one.
That's interesting. Yeah. Especially since we're talking about that like energy of like judgment and weighing and counterbalancing and harmonizing.
Oh yeah.
Relationships.
When you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a big one.
There was a hit there you needed to say. I'm going to share with everybody an emotional aura frequency that's being pulled of everyone who's watching this energy upgrade, either now or on the recording. So there's a big overriding issue of the collective needing to understand the law of the tides as we're talking about harmonizing. Underneath of that, making destructive comments is a negative self habit that we're going to be removing from our emotional aura frequencies at this time. Accessing restoration of your link to the source of life in natural places. I think if you're here, there is a strong link to nature and looking for synchronicities in nature, nature speaking to you, finding your peace in nature. So really needing to access a restoration of that link that connects you. A negative trait of mask inability to manage by bullying subordinates. So that may be something within yourself or something that you're experiencing from someone else. So these can be flipped. A sense of superiority. Am I doing enough to please God? Ooh, yeah, and that's at a level of 5 from 0 to 10. And then the rabbit should not antagonize the dog at a higher level of 9. So underneath the greater emotional frequency of needing to access an understanding of the law of tides, we're going to be removing things that no longer serve us from our energy field and then accessing what we need to restore. So this is going to be happening in the background. Again, make sure you're fully hydrated. We know that most of our body is made of water, and we are working with virtual electromagnetic frequencies at this time. So you're going to want to make sure that you're hydrated so that this works properly. And make sure you don't forget to breathe deeply. Sometimes when we're operating under stress, we forget simple things like breathing.
Oh yeah, like deep breaths. You're like, wow, it's hard to take a deep breath.
Yeah, especially women, we do that. We breathe so shallowly when we're under a lot of stress. So taking this time really just to allow natural, easy work to happen in the background. Come back to that because it should generate in something meaningful to this discussion that we're going to have, Nicole. So as we talk about the energy of after completion, keep in mind what you have written down on your paper in terms of your relationships and focusing on your goals. So you don't want your mind to wander too much and say, oh, this reminds me of something else. You want to focus on the issue at hand with full intention. That's really important. So it's a fine irony that after the completion of a project or grand enterprise, there is still much to do. Completion is merely a pause in the cycle of creation and decay, a momentary still point for the swinging pendulum of life. And we were just talking about that idea of things never changing. So I was thinking, Nicole, about that reel I sent you too, of the monk that was
the push and pull.
The push and pull, right?
Yeah, that was really cool.
I think that's significant as we're talking about relationships. And I wish I could remember his name to direct people to find him. But, and my phone's dead on the other side of the room. So I'll have to post that later. But the idea of, again, attachment that comes in. And so we know that in relationships, there are cycles and completions of cycles and the return of patterns. And the idea of this reel that we were looking at was from a monk that was talking, a Buddhist monk that was talking about the principles of attachment and pull and push. And so when we are wanting to repair something that's not working, for just one random example in a relationship, we might cling to it or try to pull it towards us as hard as we can. But at some point, you're going to let go and it's going to go swing far, far away.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think that like imagery of him like holding this like swinging was like, wow, that's so significant right now to the energies. And then the idea of like conversely pushing something away that you don't want to happen.
It's going to swing back to us.
It's going to swing right back at you.
Yeah. I'm like, that's genius.
It is. It really is. That was like such a simple illustration. And what this being like adds to that idea is after completion, if you can remember, because we're talking about water above and fire below, the image it talks about here, and I was talking about like volcanic energy underneath of an ocean, but that's not really relatable. But think about a kettle of water boiling over a fire. And then when the forces are balanced, the water boils properly. And when the pot is too full and boils over, it puts out the fire.
Yeah.
So that's the relationship there. If it's left to boil for too long, it can evaporate. So there is this other, just like the pendulum swing that we were referencing, there is a harmony in how these energies work together that you want to keep them in equilibrium. That's the sweet spot. And that's really a lot of like in Black sect Tibetan Buddhist Feng Shui, we're looking for that harmony, that space that is not too extreme in either direction. So we don't want a lot of imbalances in our lives or in our spaces. So it's saying that don't adopt an attitude at this time that is too careless or too relaxed. So
that resonates.
Yeah, even if there's something that you feel is going completely haywire right now and what's going on, there is something successful that is happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. So this is a time to reflect into what has changed. What are the successful things that are happening at this time? This isn't a time to really kind of let things happen on their own terms. Like there needs to be some thought and contemplation because there's a pot that's boiling and it needs to be tended to. So what is incomplete needs to be brought to fruition. So if there's something that's incomplete, there needs to be some kind of resolve, but done delicately. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the change lines that are specific to us in this energy as we're shifting into revolution, which I think is pretty exciting, is happening more on like an intermediate, like the levels in which we connect with nature. So we're looking at I'm going to check our words of wisdom in a second because I just heard it finish, but it says, be wary of the urge to keep expanding at this time. So with determination and attention to detail, you want to sustain your efforts. If success has brought new responsibility into your life, try to delegate it by properly choosing people of talent and ability to work with you. And that's not going to be an easy task. So you're going to need to be very mindful of your energies. Even during a time of harmony and prosperity, certain imperfections may still show themselves. While it is important not to overreact, the prudent will take decisive action to eliminate little problems before they are allowed to become big ones and flare up. So it's not going to be like this forever. Start looking for the trail of things that are successful. Maybe things have changed in the way that you are approaching situations. Maybe things are improving in the relationship on the other end that can be recognized. But if you are taking on, during this time, say you're dealing with relationship problems, that can translate over into your work as well. Mm-hmm. That's, if you are experiencing some stress in your personal life with your relationships, then you might want to ask for help. That's not something that you need to do on your own and manage both, because I think we can all attest that when things aren't going well in our relationships, mm-hmm. it trickles over into other areas, like especially teamwork and in the workplace.
Absolutely. And Lisa, what you said earlier about things, it needs to be tended to, and communication being delicate, because we're in Mercury retrograde, which Mercury is going backwards, and that's the planet of communication. It's super important that we delicately communicate and make sure that we're choosing our words wisely, because we have the tendency during this time to say things that maybe we didn't mean to say, or that we should have said differently. So that is really important, and that resonated with me.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to do.
Oh, it's really hard to do, especially in the moment. You're like, wait, hold on, take back everything I said. Let me word it differently.
So and I know there's all the different energy types in human design.
Yeah.
Do you believe that all of the types in human design, or profiles, is it profiles or types? Am I saying it wrong? But like say
energetic types. Yeah. Cause the profiles would be like your profile number, like you're a 5-1.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the types and then the profile. Yeah. So do you think any of the energetic types are like, would you, based on understanding what you know about astrology and the energy right now, could you think of like what could we advise of projectors like me during this time who have a tendency to
I think sorry. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So
okay.
One person, I'll say manifesting generator, because that's me. We move so fast, and so I want to just speak, and sometimes that can cause me to talk over somebody before they're done, because I move very quick and I get really excited. So for a manifesting generator, I would say to slow down your speech, slow down your communication, just think before you say everything too fast. For a projector, following their strategy and authority, like waiting for that invite, not going out and communicating these things too quickly to those who maybe didn't ask for it. Yeah. So kind of just sitting back and being more relaxed and just following your strategy, following your authority, which is how we make decisions in life. It's the best way for us, depending on what our energy type is. So I would say it definitely matters.
Oh, that's good advice. Yeah, I didn't think about asking that level. Hey, Arlene, I see that Arlene has joined us. Are you still with us? I'm sorry, my notifications got a little quiet there.
Hi, Arlene. Hopefully you are.
Arlene says she's going through a little problem with someone at this moment too. Yeah, so everybody's experiencing something at some, and I was just saying to Emily when we were working on our podcast earlier, we don't know, is it really a Mercury in retrograde, or is it because we know there's a Mercury in retrograde, and part of that is self projected, or we're expecting it, so we create these relationship problems?
I think it can happen, because we think our thoughts can manifest into things that actually happen. But you think about most of the world who is not an expert, or not even an expert, just doesn't know much about astrology, they don't know what the hell Mercury retrograde is. And I know of people who are having problems right now who don't know what that is.
Right.
So
right.
I think you can intensify the situation by saying like, oh, well, we got in a fight because of Mercury retrograde. It's like, okay, well, let's not blame it totally on that, but know that the energy can definitely have an effect. So
yeah. So we're shifting into the energy of revolution. Before we get too far, let me see what the words of wisdom are. So the words of wisdom that are generated, they come from, there's just so many different texts that are imported into this system that it's random. Some of them are ancient texts, some of them are modern, some of them are quotes, but this software has an intuitive discernment and is pulling based on our emotional aura frequency of all the energy upgrade viewers in the collective. And it's recommending that we speak 3 times today, but I'm going to suggest that we speak it 9 times at least. I deserve to be successful. So as we know, we were just talking, words carry an energy, and these are words that are healing to us at this time. I'm going to suggest.
Now, Lisa,
do
you suggest saying it 9 times all at once, or just throughout the day?
I suggest saying it 9 times all at once, almost like a mantra that you would be repeating. And so in Feng Shui, we repeat words 9 times, or mantras, and that's a way to integrate our voice with the words. And then to take it a notch further, I would say to use a hand symbol or mudra, and that can be, prayer hands works just fine to put that connection in. So you want to connect your mind and your body and your voice, and repeat, I deserve to be successful. If you're in a workplace right now and you don't want to be, or you're around people and you don't want to repeat in front of everybody, I deserve to be successful.
Stomping around, I deserve that.
Then you can write it in cursive. So one of my mentors in the software, the SRC for You, and he's no longer Earthside, he's passed on. But he taught me, and he's very, very well trained and high up master in Qigong, and a lot of other Chinese arts. He taught me that it's important to write in cursive your mantras, because it allows the words to be more fully integrated within your psyche. So all the levels of your consciousness, when you write in cursive, and they've had studies show that writing in cursive lights up parts of your brain that aren't lit up at other times. Writing in text or even speaking, there's something about the art and the writing of cursive that allows these different areas to really get active. So
what I heard is that since the brain has those little oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of this right now, but it's not straight, the lines kind of swiggle around, and that the cursive actually activates those different little channels in the brain, because cursive can be, in the form of different shapes and swirls, if that makes sense. So that's what I heard of why cursive works with the brain.
Works in that way. Yeah, that's a really cool. Thank you. I hear it in that way, but I never actually seen. I feel like I've seen that done on camera before or on TV, but I've never actually, I never really understood. Maybe there's a pattern that lights up because of the pattern in cursive, is what you're saying?
Yeah, if you imagine what the brain looks like. It has those little lines on the brain.
Yeah.
What are those? I can't think of what they're called, but anyway. I know it because I took so much psychology. My brain. It's
because you're connected in. You're connected in with everybody's energy right now.
Yeah.
So I think this is really helpful to do this as we're talking about goals as well. I'm going to stop sharing. And if anyone watching this in the replay wants to stop and go back, you can screenshot it as well. So we're shifting into the energy of revolution. I love that word. Again, this is water above fire, but it's lake above and fire below. And this is talking about the elements being underwater, and similarly, the idea of evaporating water and the different keeping in harmony here. So it's talking about a hint of dramatic change in the air. So we're shifting into some sort of dramatic change. In order to succeed, a revolution must be in alignment with the laws of nature and good timing. It must be at the right moment, gather support from a broad base of people, be guided by sincere and capable leaders. And this is true whether it's business, education, or your own personal affairs, as we're talking about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, revolutionary change ushers in a period when chaos arises from order. Ooh. Let's remember that not all order is good and not all chaos is bad. That's significant, because maybe it's good that we're shaking things up.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos is often an integral part of the way things evolve. As any parent or evolutionary science is going to confirm, that's true. You know, the way that the universe has been formed was quite chaotic.
Oh,
yeah. This hexagram reminds us to have the courage to radically change and renew the way we bring ourselves to life. In this way, you can channel chaos to your cause and unleash a new power on the behalf of good. Ooh. So it also advises, if you're engaging in a negotiation, change the rules. If composing a piece of music, add the unexpected. If courting a lover, dare to be unconventional. So this is the cyclical pattern that's happening. There's always the cycles of dark and light. Yeah, I mean, it's going to feel challenging, but this chaos is maybe a good chaos to bring about a revolutionary change.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not all chaos, like you said, is bad. Sometimes it's like the tower moment in the tarot deck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta, you know, sometimes things got to get really uncomfortable, or chaos has to start, you know, in order for you to be forced into a change. And that could be a great change. You just don't know that yet.
Yeah, it requires a boldness, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Is what I'm reading and picking up here. Yeah, because, and it also speaks to, you know, we often think that like storms are terrible and we don't want storms, but in periods of drought, everybody wants a storm to happen instead of another.
Mm-hmm. And here in Florida, it's made it cooler.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it.
It's 84 degrees.
I know. I checked my phone. I'm like, oh my God, it's like fall time. It's 84.
I had to put my jacket on.
I know. So funny.
Yeah, so really just becoming friends with change right now. If we're experiencing shifting around in our relationships and bringing the unexpected to the table, it's going to feel chaotic, but it feels like that's the thing to do in this case. That's the energy and that's the direction that we're shifting in. So it feels like, and those of you watching out there, are you feeling like a completion of a cycle is upon you in regards to this relationship issue that you're thinking and holding? Is there something chaotic, perhaps, that you're desiring to bring to the table? Could be a good chaos, something to shake things up, something unexpected.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time you can find the good in any chaotic situation. I know that seems sometimes like no way, but there's always a blessing or a gift behind something that seems to be tragic or not, you know, favorable. So I always challenge my clients and even myself to try to look for that, because that keeps you, you know, having hope. And
yeah. I was just saying too, like, and we were chatting a little bit before we brought everybody in, but been picking up on a lot of like trusting inner guidance and running to, you know, your higher self kind of thing. But in this reading of the I Ching, it referenced quite a few times the importance of relying upon others around you.
Mm-hmm. So,
and that's a delicate thing too, because when you start talking about relationships, you don't want to like bring too many people or the wrong people into muddy the water there. So that's delicate. I wonder how, and maybe human design would help with this, but you know what, I feel like reflectors might be good to have in this scenario. But
well, yeah.
I
mean, reflectors, they completely pick up on their environment because they have totally open centers. So when you have an open center, it means you're open to conditioning. So they're pretty good at putting themselves anywhere and being able to reflect back how that environment is. And so, yeah, they would be great, but there's only how many, 1% of them?
I know.
So
I'm
like,
I've met only one reflector before ever.
I have not met one. I'm like, geez, I'm like searching. If you're a reflector, please let me know, because I've been dying to meet one. So it's the only type I haven't met.
Let us know in the comments if you're a reflector.
Yeah, please.
Because we need.
And if you don't know, message me and I'll tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like there needs to be a good assembly of a council that you can trust. There are some changes going on, and really take, while it's always good to be able to go within and trust your higher self and really listen and meditate. Yeah, that is good. But it feels like, based on the guidance that we're receiving right now, as we're talking about revolution, we're moving towards revolution and shifting out of completion, there is some benefit to having helpful people in your counsel, and other relationships. So while it might not be a good idea to spill your beans to everybody about things that are going on, rely on other people to help you out with work while you're settling issues close to home. And also, if you have that reflector within your group too, it would be a good person to lean on and look for support, I would think. Yeah.
And a projector. Projectors are like one of the best to lean on. They really are.
Find your projector.
As you know, your whole life is like, being acknowledged for your gifts and your talents, but also, giving back and helping others find those gifts. Like, that's what they need. So find your projector. They'll greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I've got a few other collectors in the group and a few in the mastermind that that really probably are feeling an urge to be called upon right now. So
oh yeah, definitely.
So I like it. I think this is good. Let's go ahead and do some supercharge of the frequencies. I'm going to clear out my last session before we get there. I've been busy with these energy upgrades because of all the relationship challenges and communication that's happening. It's interesting.
Yeah, this one's a doozy. I don't know what made me say doozy. I don't think I've said it's a doozy.
It's probably because you're hanging around me. I say weird stuff.
That just came out. And then I thought back and I'm like, doozy. Oh my gosh. I don't know when I last said that. That's fine. A doozy.
We're in a pickle.
A pickle. Okay. Yeah. I haven't said that either in a long time.
So we're going to go ahead and send some supercharged frequencies to everybody who is in our energy watching this live or on the replay. #live if you're still with us. If this resonates, let us know. If you have any questions, let us know. We're going to be sending you with imprints that are going to keep you kosher. See, I'm throwing in another pickle reference.
Kosher.
Some abundance. I like to say awkward phrases and like also mess them up. So mix one of the words up and what I mean.
Yeah, that's happened a few times with us, and I can't remember. There was one word, and we were both like, "Is that a word?" We had no idea, and I still don't know if we know it.
So we're going to be sending abundance to everybody right now again, and make sure that you are fully hydrated. See if any jump out at me. I feel like we need to be looking at our counsel, so attracting counsel. So as we talked about attracting our counsel, is that how you spell counsel, with a C?
Looks correct to me. Yes, it is.
But you know what I mean.
It's definitely not a K.
So attracting our counsel in Feng Shui is helpful people energy. And that is energy. It comes up almost in every situation. Like, I think it's my most favorite place to activate. So when in doubt, activate your helpful people energy, because it brings about the people that you need to help actualize any project or goal, and at the right place, the right time, your mentors, friends, other energies, partners, partnerships. So that's the front right area of your home or your office when you walk in the front or main door. And that area is supposed to be ruled by metal. And if you don't see a good amount of metal there, you want to add it in. Now, metal can be represented by actual physical metal. Colors can be gray, silver, can be, so any metallic color.
Know.
Yeah, so what room are you in your house right now? You have a lot
we have a lot of blue and grays. I'm in the living room now, but if you can kind of see back there,
Yeah.
is the front area. And I think we have a metal door, and there's a lot of grays over there. So that's good. I'll
Yeah.
have to show you later.
You have a lot of feng shui elements in place within your home.
Yeah,
So
good.
you had a good decorator with sense there. So
it was Haven Home.
Oh yes, I love them.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was on there. I was next to them on the top 10 list this year.
I know you were. You're next to them in here.
They're really good. I'm big fans of them. So the metal energy, you want to make sure that you have a good presence. Like I said, it can be the metallics of any actual metal. It can include gray, it can include even white. It shows up as metal, orbs or circles. This can be patterns or actual physical. Steve, my partner in the Feng Shui school, intrinsic school of Feng Shui with me, his recommendation for bringing in all of the elements, but a fun way to bring in metal elements in an area that needs it are globes. So if you have a globe in your house, that's a fun one to activate. And you can even get funky with globes. You can find them on Etsy or like arts and craft it yourself and like paint them. You could put a mantra on it.
I love that.
Yeah, really, really fun way to do it. There's also crystal orbs, globes, glass, anything of that nature is harmonious. You want to bring it in. If you have, now it's okay to have the other elements there. You just want to make sure that you don't have too much fire. So fire would be controlling of metal. So as you're trying to activate and call upon your helpful people, you want to make sure that you don't have too many flame colors. Like a big giant red couch would be hard to control. I've actually had that situation happen before. Or it will feel like a punch, like energetically when you walk in, you're like, that's assaulting. Like that's not where it belongs. So anything that's fiery in nature, a lot of electronics would be challenging to work around as well. We could work around it, but you want to make this a safe place for metal. And if there's too much metal, like if it's an all white furniture, white room, cement, very, very metallic, almost cold feeling, that's too severe, then you can add in some water elements, like your picture behind you, Nicole, is a good example of that. Or bring in water will dial back the metal energy without killing it. So think about attracting your counsel when you're addressing the front right area of your home or your workplace. And as you're trying to solve your relationship challenges, I'm going to send you that energetic imprint to help give you a boost. And we also want to send in, I would say, optimism. Peace. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. I know, like everyone at this time must be feeling at ease and really, be secure. And I feel, just based on our words of wisdom, I deserve to be successful. Like you deserve things to work out. They are going to work out. Think about the greatest and highest good of the situation. That bird's eye view.
Yep. Clarity. Yeah. Good.
What other type of energies can we send based on this?
Serenity.
Oh, serenity. Yes.
I love that word.
I do too. This feels really good. So this energy is going to be sent over the course of the next minute. Again, fully hydrated. It should sustain you for 2 weeks, but you want to make sure that each day that you are within the next 2 weeks checking in with yourself, perhaps saying, I deserve to be successful, or your favorite mantra, and really just sitting and breathing through it, because this isn't going to be forever.
Correct.
Things are going to work out. Doesn't feel it right now.
In 2 weeks from now, we should come back and
check in.
Talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see if anyone's still with us. If you're sticking with us still, if you're receiving this energy, we'd love to hear from you. I hope that everyone's receiving this energy very well. And what else can we shed some light on from our human design? So Nicole and I, let's give a little background on how we know each other. We did this in another video, but just for those who are new to us, how did we meet?
Yeah, so we are both part of the same Pink Girl Boss group, And I think it was somebody else, right, that wrote a comment like, what if I had kidnapped you, or if someone kidnapped you, what would the kidnappers kick you out of the car for? Because you talked about it too much.
Right.
And what did I say? Astrology and human design, or whatever I said.
So, yeah.
And you commented, and you're like, I wouldn't kick you out for that.
Oh, I would pick you up.
I'd pick you up. I'm like, would you beat me? And you're like, well, no, that's a little weird. but I would stay and listen to you talk. And then, yeah, it just felt energetically right for us to start talking. And I think we hung out like 2 or 3 days after that. And we talked for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was just easy.
Yeah. And a couple people you have seen also me work with a couple other human design professionals, but human design meshes very well with Feng Shui, and your take on it is really unique. I love that your specialty is in really, and you have a life coaching business around it, but you're really good at working with people in relationships, especially those that are dealing with codependency.
Yeah, I went through it personally, and I'm very transparent with even my clients, and as Lisa can tell you, I still have things that I'm learning, and I'm because we're all human, so society tries to put us back into that state of conditioning that's typical and not spiritual, and you don't think of your human design way of doing things or astrological way. So it's still something I practice every day. But yeah, I felt called to help others in their relationships, because my whole life and my human design profile actually says that relationships rule my life. So I'm meant to go through the trial and error process, and I've helped so many people, understand themselves better, because that's the first step in being able to be happy in any relationship, is knowing you and then knowing others and how they work.
Yeah, I love that. And it really showed up to me at a great time, because I've always said, working with codependency and clients and within my work in Feng Shui is not my favorite to do. So I often, if that's something that comes up, I refer out to people. So you're a great resource in that area. So it's really, really helpful. But yeah, so the Feng Shui and the human design aspect is really beneficial because, well, ultimately they're connected by the Yi Jing. So that exercise that we just went through, the ancient book of changes, is at the foundation of a very ancient part of Feng Shui, but it's also part of the code that goes into creating human design, which tells us about our personal energy. So anytime that we're able to better understand our personal energy and then align that with our space, it really empowers and takes up any work that we're doing, kicks it up a notch.
And a quick example of that is, if anybody's ever taken a course before, from somebody, whether it's like a social media person or a course in anything that you're doing, and you're like, wow, I got nothing from that, or wow, I tried it that way and it didn't work for me. It's because that person that's teaching that course might be a totally different energy type. So the way they go about it is aligned for them, but it doesn't resonate with you because it's just different. So I challenge you to find people who are kind of like-minded in your energy type if you're looking for training, because it can resonate more, and it's just a better way of going about those things. So
yes, thank you. Yeah, I love that. I like that, and I like our mission so we're both about collaboration in our lines of work, and there's something that special that can happen when you're able to join forces with people that are the right energy types, that can help not only enhance the way that you are doing your own work, but it can enhance the experience for those that you're supporting. But ultimately, it can really impact the way that your energy is being refined and shine out to everybody. So I think that I'm pretty excited about our workshop we have coming up. Me too. October, on the local level. And should we unveil it here?
What do you think?
I think so. Let's do it.
I mean, it's our workshop. So.
It's our workshop. So we are lovingly calling our workshop, it is unfuck your star potential. I probably just got bleeped out and everything.
I love when Lisa says unfuck for some reason. It's like it's just the most like innocent unfuck ever. It's so cute. I just love it.
They're gonna kick our feet off. So I don't want to get put in the JAIL, but
oh yeah, unfuck.
But so it talks about the idea of everybody is their own unique star, but why be a star when you can be a galaxy and join forces with others in the things that make you each unique. Joining those pieces together creates something even more beautiful that you couldn't do singularly. So we came up with this like day one of hanging out, like over tea.
We really did.
Like we're essentially going to be matchmaking on the first round. We're matchmaking local entrepreneurial women within the St. Pete Girl Boss group, matchmaking people based on their unique energy design that we're going to be pulling together packages based on human design and Feng Shui energy types, and then finding and knowing and it's very simple to do this. I mean, this is something that you can look up on your own online to find out your human design or your Feng Shui, but Nicole and I have our own unique system that is even more powerful. So we're going to know enough about each person attending to be able to help guide them into a workshop situation in person, to be able to meet people that would be really great matches for them in their businesses.
Then within that workshop, we can make little groups of people and introduce them. I'm super excited. It'll be fun.
Me too. Yes. Yeah. So it could actually birth some really cool services out of it, and at minimum, some great counsel and friends for people, because nobody knows what owning a business is like another business owner. So this is a great chance. And then ultimately, we will be rolling this out on a bigger level to those of you outside of our local group. So stay tuned for that. We are going to be sharing out this information in the comments below as it develops, and also anywhere else we share this video. We'll put information in our bios and in the description, so you can find out more if you desire to find your galaxy. And
because we plan on releasing this, after the fact, from just that group to the public. So
so this would be like the think tank, the launch experience exclusive to the local women. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Who's in it? It's always the right people at the right time.
It is. So that's why I'm like, okay, the right people will come, and there better be a reflector in there. That's all I gotta say.
There's gonna be. We just called it in.
Come on, man. I want to meet one.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining me in this energy upgrade. Any last tips that you want to leave in regards to relationship and what we've been discussing?
I will say, from a human design perspective, what's really interesting is, all of us have gates and channels that are part of our body graph, and a gate is basically a personal feature, characteristic of yourself, and a channel connects those two energies to a different center. And what's really interesting is, even if we don't have a specific gate, the planetary alignments and the transits can affect all of us and make us feel certain gates, even though they're not a part of us. They can activate things within us. And the one gate that I really wanted to just mention was the gate of friction. It's gate 6. And it actually rules conflicts and reconciliation and the ability to set boundaries and to control your inner circle and the intimacy. And so it's interesting that it's affected right now. And that's what we're going through. So I find that interesting.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I would have been so sad if you didn't. After all of this, it's really deep. And I wonder if that's what everyone's experiencing, is that gate being activated. And then, since we know this it's a temporary activation, so we're coming towards the end of this Mercury in retrograde, what can we do to, knowing that this is a temporary activation, what are things that we can do? Just really be mindful of it and just breathe.
Be mindful of it. Know it's part of the energy that's happening as a collective, and know that once that dissipates, things that happened during that time when it was activated that we can either regret later on or we can be happy about. It can happen. Basically what you said, it's going to go away. It's not forever. And because it rules conflict and also reconciliation, know that there is a way that you can find that reconciliation within whatever the conflict is that you're dealing with now. So it actually helps you to be able to learn how to handle these situations. So that's the gift of this gate. You know, don't look at it as a negative, learn from it.
Oh my gosh, I think that's like the most important piece of the whole session that we've done today. So this gate that's been activated, whatever is happening and you're seeing the chaos around you, and chaos can be good. Look at it more as a learning lesson and not as like a war you need to get involved in. Because I remember the I Ching when we were reading it earlier, it said something about don't agitate a sleeping dog or something like that. So
don't let the rabbit agitate, or the dog, which is totally true. Don't be that thing that's like stomping your foot, you know, like, let me just keep on, you know, find out how can I resolve this for myself and for the person I'm dealing with. So like don't stoke the fire, just the lesson in it instead. And know that it's coming to an end and will probably resolve itself. That's really great advice from the human design side. I'm so glad that you brought that to the table. So I was like, wait, I have to say it.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, there's so much.
I kind of forgot.
Yeah. We get so caught up in things and just, you know, that makes me think too, like, as you're talking about, like the sleeping dog, or, you know, don't be the rabbit that wakes up the dog. In that agitation, I would instead put that energy, that nervous energy, into looking around your environment. Look for places that are collecting of clutter. Certainly that back right corner of your house or of your office, that is the relationships area. If you see a pile of mail there, go through it. And just focus on other things than contributing than to getting into a war situation, an argument, or something that you're going to regret later. Yeah. Ooh, such a good one today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Live. And we will go back and hop back through the comments if you have questions, comments, and let us know if there's anything. And we will see you all again soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. See ya.
I'm gonna close out Facebook. Bye, guys.